What is up, guys? I am back again today, and today, on top of my training session that I normally do, I'm also going to be doing a full day of eating video to show you guys what a training day diet currently looks like for me about 5 weeks, 6 weeks roughly into the growth phase, into this off season. Sitting around 213 pounds this morning. So weight is starting to move up again. We just made a food increase starting this week. So this is my newest diet with my changes to my foods. I don't change my foods very often. I mean, I eat the same meals for months and months on end. I'm not really one to mix things up. If it's not broken, don't try and fix it, right? There's no reason to be switching from what works. And I like the foods that I eat. Meal number one is pretty straightforward. This is just going to be 100 grams of oats. You see I have some blueberries mixed in here, and then also just the remainder of the blueberries here. That's 240 total grams of blueberries, 15 grams of peanut butter. Any nut butter works, but I've got peanut butter in right now, and 40 grams of whey isolate. So pretty straightforward meal. The thing that I like about this is I can make this either as just a bowl of oatmeal with some fruit, or if it's a day where I don't feel like eating, I just want to drink, or maybe like a hot day out and I don't want a hot bowl of food, I can blend all this together with some ice cubes and make a shake out of it, and it's all the same. So yeah, that is going to be meal number one. I'll put the macros on screen, and at the end of the day, we'll do the total calories and macros. It's somewhere around 3,700 total calories for the day on a training day right now. My rest day is a little bit less, closer to about 500 less than that. Obviously, I dropped the carbs back on the training day. That is really it. Nothing else really changes on a training day. I don't change my food sources. The only thing that I do switch is my post-workout meal. Obviously, I don't have, so instead of having cream of rice, which you guys will see later, I have just another chicken and rice meal. But yeah, that is it for meal number one, guys. All right, guys, back for meal number two. This is going to be my pre-workout meal. Well, you guys can see it there. This is, let's see, 350 grams of white rice. I like the jasmine rice from Costco, that giant fucking bag of it. 150 grams of chicken breast, a quarter teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt, and then about a tablespoon of sugar-free barbecue sauce. As I said before, I'll put the macros somewhere up here for this meal. But this meal is really simple. Chicken and rice, just easy to get down before the gym, easy to digest. I eat my pre-workout meal about an hour before I leave for the gym. So by the time I actually start my session, it's about an hour and 15, hour and a half after I eat. I find that that's what works for me. I know some people eat their pre-workout meal and then they fucking sprint out the door. I hate that because then I feel full, bloated, miserable going through my session. It actually impacts my performance negatively. Similarly, you don't want to eat, 3 hours before your session. Obviously, in an off season or growth phase, you're gonna have as much energy as you really need anyway going into a session, as long as you've eaten your meals, throughout the previous day or two. But it always helps to eat a little closer to have a little more energy right before that session. So for me, the sweet spot is kind of about an hour, hour and a half prior to my lifting session. But yeah, pretty simple meal. I do add the salt to this meal just so I can make sure I have enough sodium in my system before I go to do my session. And then I also make sure I drink about a liter of water with this meal and leading up to leaving for the gym, just to make sure I'm hydrated as well, because a bigger indicator of performance, or rather a bigger driver of performance in the gym within your session, rather than being a pre-workout meal, is going to be hydrated going into the gym. There's no greater dictator of performance going into the session than if you are hydrated or dehydrated, right? So drink your water and eat something nice and simple like this before going to the gym. I will see you guys after the gym for meal three, my post-workout meal. All right, guys, hopping into the training session for this day. Just going to do the top sets today since we're doing the full day of eating alongside this stuff. Top set here was 140 pounds. You'll see I switched back to the Nautilus machine. Hit 140 for 14. The rep goal is only 8 to 12, so this goes up next week. I switched back to this machine because I found that I was getting a little bit more lower back recruitment off the Cybex than I really wanted, even when I had that weight down a lot. I might switch back to it once I hit a stalling point on the Nautilus. It's kind of good to just switch back and forth without having to change the movement out. But the weight obviously jumped up because of the machine switch. So we hit 140 for 14, 140 for 11, and then 100 for 17. All of those weights will go up next week. Actually, I'm sorry, the third set won't. Top set will go up next week. And jumping over to the seated leg curl right next to the Nautilus machine. This was... I hit 115 for 11 on this top set. And that was the same weight I had on last week, but man, it just didn't feel good. I'm starting to struggle on this machine. I think I need to just change something up here and maybe switch to a different seated leg curl machine that has the pad in front of the knees, just to try and mix things up a little bit. But I did drop the weight on my second set for 90 pounds and hit 17 reps. The goal here is 10 to 15, so I might also just need to back off on the weight and work on the form a little bit, because the form felt really good here on the top and the second set. I just wasn't able to crank out as many reps as I had hoped. So we'll see how it progresses. Wasn't too bad. On to the next one. And that next one is going to be hack squats. Felt really, really, really good here today. Hit 300 for 12 and then 300 for 10, but I don't know what it was. This just felt really good. My knees felt good. My quads felt great on this. Honestly, my back felt good. Like everything felt good on this. This was probably my best movement today, just from how well it felt. I mean, you'll see when I'm in the bottom here, I'm even going way further into the hole than I usually do. And I'm like, this is the day I want to base my form off of. If there is a control that I can look back on to see how I want to standardize my form on this movement, it's this day. This was great. This felt awesome. Great progression. Weight goes up next week. Probably going to go up on both sets next week, but at the very least, we're going to go up to 310 on that top set. Yeah, this felt really good. Even the second set felt awesome. Even though I didn't hit 12 reps, 10 reps with the same weight I'll take that. And then moving into my leg extension, took a progression here as well today. Moved the top set up 10 pounds, went from 100 to 110, because I hit 20 reps last week, and I was like, yeah, I should probably just go up rather than trying to hit 2 extra reps. So we did 110 and I hit 16. Pretty happy with that. Going to keep it at 110 next week. But then I did drop it down for the second set, since obviously I didn't hit the high end of the rep goal, and I did 100 for 17. So this was really good today as well. My quads, honestly, my quad-based movements just felt really good today. I'm not sure why they felt so good, honestly, but I performed really well on them. Still trying to dial in some of the hamstring stuff, I think. Not necessarily dial it in, but maybe back off on weights a little bit and kind of improve my form and connection with some of the hamstring stuff to start the session. But quads, those felt really good. And then we are going to jump into my adductor work, the adduction machine here. Weight was the same, I think. Pretty sure it was the same as last week. 175 on this top set, and I hit 15 reps. I think last week I hit 16 reps, so we did take a 1 rep regression here, but again, because of how much progress I made on my other quad movements, I'm really not too concerned about this. This still felt good. You'll notice I also made a change here. Maybe you can notice it, maybe not. My feet are on these higher up pegs. There's actually 2 sets of pegs on this, and I have my feet placed on the higher set of pegs here. I noticed that for me, maybe it's just because of my physiology and my structure, that I feel a little bit better connection with my adductors when I actually have them on those top pegs. So I've been doing that, and I think that part of the reason I probably missed a rep here is it just fatigues me a lot more in a good way on those pegs. So I'll take it. I'm happy with it. Weight will stay the same next week. And then my seated calf raise, this is actually my second set. This is not my top set, because my top set felt really fucking shitty. It was 105 pounds and I got 15 reps, but they didn't feel good. I would say it was like 12 good ones tops. So I think I'm going to take a weight decrease there next week. I'm going to go down to like 90 pounds on that and just crank out the reps. But then the second and third set, I did 70 pounds and I got 70 for 19 and 70 for 14. So I'm really happy with that. I need to, I think on this movement specifically for my calves, just forget about the fucking weight. Calves are something that for me, like all of my standing calf movement and my toe press movement, I can load them really heavy and it works for me. But this movement, I think I need to just be like, no, don't. Do a very light weight and just really focus on a good contraction on this movement, because every time I try and creep the weight up on this, I end up regretting it. And I know it. It's just getting it through my thick fucking head. All right, guys, I just got back from the gym. You guys are going to see a training session for chest, my push session as part of this video, but I actually just finished legs today, just a day behind on the training. So we are going to have the best meal of the day, my favorite meal of the day. That is my post-workout meal, and that is cream of rice, protein, some other goodness in that. So this is, let's see, 110 grams of cream of rice. I use TBJP. This is, I think, chocolate fudge. Whatever the chocolate one that's available in the US is, this is it. Chocolate protein, 40 grams of that, 100 grams of banana, and 15 grams of peanut butter. That's it. So pretty simple. This is my favorite meal because it's really fucking sweet, and I have a really bad sweet tooth. I always have. So I like this. It's easy to get down. It still keeps me really full right now, and it's nice and sweet. So honestly, I am starving. I'm going to go eat this, and then I am going to check in after I post the macros here and move on to the next clip to see you guys in meal number 4. All right, what is up, guys? I am back again with the second to last meal of the day, my 4th meal. I only do 5 meals. I'm not a 6-meal person, especially in the off season or growth phase. I only do 5 to make sure that I can get all of my food digested between meals. I find that if I'm eating every 2 hours rather than every 3 or so, like kind of on a 6-meal plan, it's not enough time for me to digest my food and feel comfortable. So 5 meals a day. This is meal number 4. We have one more after this, but this is 350 grams of white rice, jasmine rice, 280 grams raw weight of turkey. The chicken that I mentioned earlier in my chicken meal is cooked weight. I measure this raw before I cook it. 280 grams of that raw, and a little bit of barbecue sauce on top, and then just 160 grams of blueberries here on the side. That's it. Nothing special here. Nothing crazy about this. It's one of my bigger meals. I want to say this is close to about 1,000 calories, just because of the turkey and the amount of carbs with it as well. But yeah, I'm going to eat this and put the macros up here, and then I will see you guys for my last meal of the day, meal number 5. All right, on that note, back for my 5th and final meal of the day. We were just talking about all the junk that I am sure you guys have seen all day throughout the video. Getting ready for our move to Vegas here in just a couple of months, and we're running out of space to put things because we're selling everything. So this has kind of become the catch-all here on the kitchen island. But for this last meal, it's going to be 400 grams of Greek yogurt, non-fat, 60 grams of granola, and 100 grams of banana. Again, pretty freaking simple. I don't really overcomplicate things. I eat the same thing day in and day out. It's pretty straightforward. This is just easy to get down before bed, keeps me full. It's a nice little treat at the end of the night. I'll put the macros for this up here for this 5th meal, and then also do the total daily macros here as well.